$163,000. In fees. Not losses. Fees. His broker just quietly reached into his account every single night and took the money. He wasn't even losing on bad trades. His broker was just double billing him in the night, like a financial vampire. But we'll get there. First, let's talk about the beautiful spectrum of degeneracy. Because not everyone on this list is a disaster. Some of them are just deeply confused. 5 stories. One common thread. The gradual, beautiful, catastrophic evolution from accidental winner to professionally broke. This is degeneracy escalation. There is a certain kind of trader that exists on a spectrum. On one end, you have someone who accidentally made $700 while unconscious. On the other end, you have someone whose broker was quietly robbing them for $163,000 and they didn't notice for a year. The thing is, they all think they're the smart one. Every single one of them. The guy passed out on his couch, the guy who put his house down payment into yoga pants, the guy who 5 years spiraled into addiction. All of them. Smart. Trust me. Let's start at the bottom of the degeneracy ladder. Trade 1. The accidental genius. This man shorted the market by mistake while high, passed out, and woke up $700 richer. And he had absolutely no idea what button to press to collect his winnings. User_Doomer_Wojak, which is already a name that tells you everything you need to know, just got approved for futures trading on Robinhood. No tutorial, no guidance. Just here are the nukes, have fun. Now let me explain why futures access with zero knowledge is the financial equivalent of handing a toddler a flamethrower. A micro E-mini S&P 500 futures contract, /MES, controls the equivalent of about $33,000 worth of the S&P 500, with a $5 margin requirement per point. One wrong click and you are not just buying a stock. You are leveraged to the gills on the entire American economy. So he thought he was going long, buying the dip. Very normal, very rational. Instead, he somehow shorted one contract at 68.04. Then, as any responsible trader would do, he packed a bowl, started what the post describes as gooning, and passed out. He woke up to the market tanking. His short position, entered by accident while unconscious, had made him $700. The market did the work. He did not. This is the origin story of every degenerate trader. The first win that made no sense. And now he is shaking, literally shaking, because he does not know which button closes the position. He is asking Reddit, which is like calling 911 and getting put on hold with a podcast. The top comment, 253 upvotes, is, just jizz on the screen. It'll automatically sense your happiness and auto-sell. This is the quality financial advice available to you at all times on WallStreetBets. Someone else helpfully pointed out, there is literally an exit and cancel all button. You can also just buy +1 so you're back at 0. Both get rid of your -1 and bring you to nothing invested. Revolutionary information, available for free, on Reddit. The actual helpful comment for the record, buy +1 contract to get back to 0. That is it. That is the entire solution. The man was shaking for this. And my personal favorite comment, if you know who Jesse Livermore is, I suspect you know more than you're letting on. Possible. Very possible. Maybe this was all a galaxy brain play from a man who simply chose to be unconscious for the execution phase. Trade 1 verdict, he made money. By accident. While asleep. This is the beginning of the journey. The dangerous part is not that he lost. The dangerous part is that he won. Because now his smooth brain thinks this is how it works. Total losses from trade 1, 0. He made $700. Which means our running total of losses is a beautiful, pristine $0. Enjoy it. It won't last. Our next trader looked at this $0 loss and said, hold my beer. He had $25,000. Saved over years. Living at home. A real down payment for a real house. And he put every single dollar of it into one stock. On a dip. A stock that makes yoga pants. User Dwarf Mafia posted this with the flare loss, which I appreciate for the honesty. Quote, I lived at home until I saved $25,000. Then went all in on the dip last July hoping it would make me some quick bucks. I still buy some here and there to bring my average down, but now I think I may be in too deep. Now let me explain why this is the investing equivalent of using your life raft as a surfboard. Concentration risk is when you put too much of your portfolio into a single position. Financial advisors say no more than 5% in any one stock. This man put 100% into Lululemon, which makes leggings. He also mentions averaging down, which sounds sophisticated until you understand what it means. It means he kept buying more as it fell, trying to lower his average cost. This is the financial equivalent of digging faster when you're already in a hole. The actual position screenshot. Look at it. A company that makes yoga pants, with his house down payment. 6,568 upvotes on this comment. You have your life savings on the line invested in a company that makes leggings. And you're asking Reddit for hopium? Yes, that is exactly what is happening. That is the post. This was asterisk your down payment for a house. 1,745 upvotes. The asterisk is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. And my personal favorite, there's always tent options below an underpass. No HOA to worry about either. This community is so supportive. Now here is the empathy moment. I am legally required to have one per trade. We have all had a version of this. Maybe not $25,000. Maybe it was smaller. But the feeling of watching your savings bleed out in a stock you chose because you believed in the dip. We know that feeling. It is not fun. The post doesn't give us the exact loss number, but based on the chart and the all-in $25,000 position, we are estimating a loss of at least $15,000, possibly more, which brings our running total to $15,000 in losses. Remember that number. It is about to look adorable. If you are watching this and you have your life savings in a single stock right now, I want you to look at that chart. Look at it. Close the tab. Open a diversified ETF. I am not joking. This is not a bit. Stop, please. Okay, so we have an accidental winner and a concentrated loser. Both of them, honestly, kind of fine in the grand scheme of WSB. Rookies. What comes next is different. What comes next is 5 years. 5 years of a man trying to quit and not being able to. This one is not funny. Well, it is a little funny, but it is mostly not funny. User Waitaminut posted this. No dollar amount, no specific trade, just a chart, and a confession. Quote, gambling addiction took me over. Anytime I made any money back from losses, I immediately would full send into a trade the next day and lose most if not all of it. I'm just exhausted at this point and really just want to stop this for my own sake. Go ahead and roast me, community. I need to feel the full weight of this embarrassment. And the chart. Look at this chart. This is 5 years of a man's life. In a bull market, one of the greatest bull markets in history, and the line goes nowhere. It goes up sometimes, then immediately back down. 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 Dead. Now let me explain why the psychology here is so insidious. This is called the gambler's ruin cycle. Every time he won, dopamine hit, brain said good job, do it again. Every time he lost, brain said you can win it back, do it again. The wins and the losses both led to the same behavior. More trading. This is not a market problem. This is a wiring problem. 3,161 upvotes on this comment. Hey man, at least you are only down 100%. That is technically accurate and somehow still funny. 892 upvotes. Just think of it as years of Vegas trips, minus the good stories, STDs, liver and septum damage. On the one hand, brutal. On the other hand, he has a point. Vegas at least gives you a free drink. And 309 upvotes. 5 years for that? In a bull market? Rookie numbers. This community has no mercy and I respect it. But here is the thing. This guy asked to be roasted for accountability. That is actually a healthy impulse. Recognizing the pattern, naming it, asking for the full weight of it. If you are watching this and you recognize your own trading in that description, there are real resources for gambling addiction. The National Council on Problem Gambling Hotline is 1-800-522 minus 4,700. I am not joking about this one. Seriously. The chart shows a full wipeout. We're estimating this at a total loss of the entire account value. For the purposes of our running total, we're calling it $30,000. Because the comment said 5 years, and that spike at the end was described as a death rattle. Whatever it was, it's gone now. Our running total, $45,000. And we are only halfway through. Now, I want you to take a breath. We have seen an accidental winner, a concentrated loser, and a 5-year spiral. All of that is nothing. All of it. Because our next trader looked at his portfolio, decided he was tired of not making money, and put $270,000 into a single stock with zero rationale. He told you he had zero rationale. In the post, voluntarily, user Asagi_Lumina. The post title, tired of not making money so gambling it all, $270,000 on HIMS. The body of the post, don't ask me for rationals, I don't have any. Balls deep on HIMS with $270,000 on it. Already down by minus 22%. See you at Wendy's. Let me just pause here. He already knew. He titled the post with the minus sign. He referenced Wendy's in the opening post. This man walked into the casino, put everything on red, watched it land on black and said, and I quote, "See you at Wendy's." The self-awareness is breathtaking. It does not help him, but it is breathtaking. Now let me explain why putting $270,000 into a single speculative stock with no rationale is the kind of move that makes financial advisors physically ill. HIMS and Hers Health is a telehealth company. Not a bad company, but it is a high-volatility, sentiment-driven stock. A 22% drop in a position this size is $60,000 gone before the post even went up. Before he even hit submit. He was already down $60,000 when he typed "See you at Wendy's." 3,027 upvotes. Can someone post the suicide prevention line just in case? 2,398 upvotes. I like how you even put minus 270K in the title, because you already know how this bet ends. The community saw it. He saw it. Everyone saw it. This is it, boys, we found the top. 500 upvotes. Meaning the entire Reddit community collectively agreed that this was the peak of the market because this man had entered it with his entire net worth and no reasoning. 155 upvotes, 270K. Not making money. Yeah, you are made for Wendy's. I genuinely cannot argue with this. If you have $270,000, you are making money. You have $270,000. That is money. The position was already down 22% when posted. That is $59,400 gone on entry. For the purposes of our running total, we are calling this a $60,000 loss minimum, which brings the total to $105,000 across 4 trades. And we still have one more. Buckle up. If you are watching this and thinking about putting your savings into a single stock with no rationale, seriously, stop. Close the app. I am begging you. This is not ironic. This is a real plea. From a guy who may or may not have done something similar with PLTR calls in 2021. Moving on. Okay, I thought Trade 4 was bad. I thought a $250,000 YOLO with zero rationale was the ceiling. I was wrong, because our final trader did not lose money on bad trades. He lost money to his broker, who was just taking it every night. User Kashaboikid posted this. Title: Option trading cost me $173,000 in fees last year. Is there a bigger degenerate than I? The answer, based on our evidence today, might actually be no. There might not be. He looked at his year-end fee statement. He gave Scotiabank $163,000 to trade options. Not losses from trades. Fees. The commissions. The cost of the privilege of losing money. $163,000. But wait. It gets worse. And I do not say that lightly given what we have already covered today. He discovered that Scotiabank was double charging commissions. They took the fee at the time of the trade. Then overnight, they took it again. He only noticed because one day his account went negative $1,500 overnight from phantom charges. This happened on a regular basis. Now let me explain why this is actually insane on a systemic level. Options commissions should be a one-time charge per trade. You buy a call, you pay a fee. Done. If your broker is charging you again the next morning, that is not a glitch. That is a policy. And a policy of charging customers twice for the same transaction is the kind of thing that regulators theoretically exist to prevent. Theoretically, 1,857 upvotes on this absolute gem. I put 2 kids through Harvard by trading options. Unfortunately, they were my broker's kids. This comment is better than anything I could write. I am retiring after this video. 488 upvotes. I lost 274,000 with 0 fees. Ladies and gentlemen, a different kind of degenerate. A humble degenerate. A degenerate who at least was not also being robbed. And 51 upvotes for calls on Scotiabank. They gonna beat expectations with you as customer. Accurate. Extremely accurate. His fees alone probably moved the needle on their quarterly earnings report. He is documenting their practices. He has evidence. He is fighting back, which is actually the most impressive thing anyone in this video has done. Our accidental winner got lucky. Our house money guy averaged down into oblivion. Our 5-year guy acknowledged the spiral. Our YOLO guy went to Wendy's. But this guy is going to war with his bank. Godspeed, man. Trade 5 adds $163,000 to our running total. $163,000 in fees. That is not counting whatever he lost on the actual trades. Just the fees. Just the commission. Just the nightly robbery. Which brings our grand total, across all 5 trades, to $268,000. Give or take, in losses, fees, and bad decisions. From a man who made $700 by accident to a man who was robbed of 6 figures by his own broker. The full spectrum. Let's recap the beautiful arc of degeneracy we witnessed today. Trade 1. Made $700 by accident while unconscious. An accidental win that is the most dangerous outcome in trading because it teaches you nothing except that you can make money by being wrong in the right direction while asleep. Trade 2. Put your entire house down payment into a leggings company on a dip and then average down into a deeper hole. Trade 3. 5 years of gambling addiction documented in a single portfolio chart that looks like a seismograph during an earthquake. Trade 4. $270,000, no rationale, already down 22%. See you at Wendy's. And Trade 5. A man who paid $163,000 in fees to a bank that was charging him twice per trade, every night, like a very polite thief in a suit. The full spectrum. From oops, I made money to my broker is robbing me and I have the receipts. The lesson, if there is one, is this. Check your fee statements. Seriously. Go right now. Open your brokerage account. Look at the fees section. If you are paying per option contract commissions on a platform that charges for them, look at how much. If you see charges appearing the next morning that you did not make, screenshot everything. Call your broker, then call a lawyer. Also, if you are trading options on Scotiabank in Canada, multiple comments pointed out that Wealthsimple and Questrade offer 0 commission options trading. Just saying, that information is free, unlike Scotiabank's commissions, which are apparently charged twice. Remember that cold open, $163,000 in fees, taken quietly, in the night, like a subscription service you forgot you signed up for. Except the subscription is your entire financial well-being and the service is just someone else getting richer. If you are watching this and thinking about making any of these 5 trades, I have escalating requests. Trade 1 style. Maybe don't trade futures while high. Trade 2 style. Please diversify. Trade 3 style. Please talk to someone. Trade 4 style. I am genuinely asking you to close the app. Trade 5 style. I am on my knees. Check your fee statements. Move to a commission-free broker. For the love of everything. $268,000. 5 traders. 1 accidental genius, 1 concentrated loser, 1 5-year spiral, 1 $250,000 YOLO, and 1 man whose broker was just quietly robbing him every single night. The full spectrum of degeneracy. And somewhere out there, our guy from Trade 1 is probably already planning his next accidental trade. Hopefully he stays awake for it this time.